There are a lot of planets in the universe, and many of those planets we have never visited or heard from. Oftentimes, those planets have intriguing and interesting stories. One of those planets being Salsotto, the stagnant planet. In the past, Salsotto used to be a planet just like any other unremarkable planet. The people of the planet were known for their positivity and resilience, and overall, their lives were peaceful enough with only little strife. However, this would all take a turn for the worse, as the planet was struck by waves upon waves of meteors. It was bombarded so much that the giant craters left by them were seen visible from orbit. The immense meteor shower wiped out a large portion of the planet's population, but this was not the biggest problem for the inhabitants. See, because the meteors had struck the planet against its rotation, the day and nights slowly became longer. The scorching hot days and the freezing cold nights were too much to bear for the inhabitants, so they created and boarded the two last flying cities. These cities were gigantic flying constructs that were able to chase the Terminator line. The Terminator line is a line separating day and night on a planet. From one of those cities, called Tumbleweed, you could see day in front of the city and night behind the city. So when they would speed up or slow down, they could manipulate the time of day themselves. The city needed to keep flying in order to survive, so the citizens had to leave the ship to find fuel. Luckily, there was a way of gathering energy without having to completely land the ship. On the planet's surface, there was a certain species of jellyfish, called phlogiston jellyfish. These creatures could be caught for their phlogiston to power the city, but catching them was no easy task. The jellyfish were caught by skyfishers, who would dive off the flying city in special flying suits, equipped with gear to resist the cold winds. Every group of skyfishers was led by a skyfisher captain, who had the responsibility of coordinating the capture of the jellyfish. To give instructions to their squad, they could use up to 124 different whistles to communicate with their squad, with the best captains having special rings to show their skill and aptitude during hunts. The skyfishers had a saying that 1/3 of their lives were entrusted to their equipment, 1/3 to their technology, and 1/3 to their captain. But even though the hunters were skilled and the captains observant, not every skyfisher could make it back alive all the time. The people of Salsotto lived this way for quite a long time, but eventually the city could not continue moving and had to stop in place. Years later, the last two cities finally met each other, and due to unknown reasons, one last brutal war was waged, which ended in both cities being destroyed. A long time after the war, planet Salsotto slowly started to rotate faster and faster, and began its own healing process. However, sadly there is no one left to witness the rebirth of what once was called the inert planet Salsotto.